Brothers, significant news broke on July 22nd. Swedish astronomer Dr. Beatriz Villarroel has announced an upcoming report concerning objects near Earth. This groundbreaking report addresses the presence of an anomalous object. While the full report is not yet available, I can share its fundamental findings now. Specifically, long before the Soviet Union launched the first human satellite, at an altitude between 40,000 and 80,000 meters in high orbit, there may already have been so-called technological artifacts. These technological artifacts, potentially alien probes, are not singular, but numerous, forming an extensive surveillance network. This is not a sensationalist science fiction narrative. As early as 2021, the journal Scientific Reports published Dr. Villarroel's research paper. At that time, she referred to these as geosynchronous orbit objects rather than technological artifacts to minimize the potential impact of the article. Over the past 2 years, Dr. Villarroel has publicly delivered numerous presentations, systematically detailing her research findings. Today, we will explore how she discovered these anomalies. First, let me introduce Dr. Villarroel. Dr. Beatriz Villarroel is based in Stockholm, Sweden, and is a member of the Nordic Institute for Theoretical Physics. She is an accomplished astronomer, leading the VASCO project, which stands for Vanishing and Appearing Sources During a Century of Observations. This project studies light sources that appear and disappear. It involves a team of 40 astronomers and machine learning experts collaborating on this research initiative. In 2021, through the VASCO project, she received recognition from UNESCO and the L'Oréal Group, earning the co-sponsored Women Scientists Award. In 2022, she was named one of the world's 15 rising international talents. Her contributions began with the VASCO project, established in 2016. The project's name derives from its initial discovery by Dr. Villarroel at the Palomar Observatory in California. She identified a photograph taken on April 12, 1950, highlighting 9 stars within a green circle. These 9 objects were observed by Dr. Villarroel to emit light for only half an hour. In a subsequent photograph, these objects had collectively vanished. This phenomenon greatly intrigued her. She questioned whether differing observational depths could explain this occurrence. To investigate, Dr. Villarroel utilized deep search technology at Gran Canaria, Spain, employing advanced telescopic systems. These systems reached a detection limit of magnitude 26. This sensitivity can detect the faintest light sources in the universe, yet no trace of the objects was found. Consequently, she began exploring alternative explanations for this phenomenon. She attempted to apply known astrophysical principles to account for the observations. If only one star had vanished, an explanation would be relatively straightforward. For instance, it could be attributed to a black hole's gravitational pull, which might deflect light, or obscuration by interstellar dust clouds. However, this image depicted 9 widely distributed stars disappearing simultaneously. This was difficult to comprehend. The VASCO project team studied this phenomenon extensively, but could not provide a satisfactory explanation. They considered alternative possibilities, such as instrument malfunctions or technical issues. They evaluated factors like spectral sensitivity, optical distortions, double exposures, photosensitive emulsion defects, and cosmic ray interference among 5 potential causes. However, their final assessment either ruled out these possibilities directly or deemed them highly improbable. These causes existed only theoretically. The analysis of light and shadow patterns excluded the possibility of purple light spots in the image. However, the 9 light points in the green circle remained unexplained. Simultaneously, the team ruled out the possibility of space debris, as prior to 1957, no satellites or space debris existed in Earth's orbit. At that time, Earth's orbit was remarkably clear, offering excellent visibility. Thus, the light sources did not result from sunlight reflecting off space debris. The team later considered another hypothesis, suggesting that a sneeze in the 1950s might have contaminated the optical negative. They conducted additional data analysis to examine the shape and distribution of the light spots. This possibility was ultimately ruled out, as the light spots in the photograph closely resembled stars, exhibiting a typical stellar brightness distribution. At this point, the team became convinced that these 9 light sources were genuine, but had vanished collectively for unknown reasons. Dr. Villarroel hypothesized that an advanced extraterrestrial civilization might have, for energy needs or military purposes, destroyed 9 stars simultaneously. While this sounds like science fiction, ongoing research by the VASCO team on historical astronomical photographs disprove this hypothesis. The reason lies in the data. The Palomar Observatory's first sky survey, conducted from 1949 to 1957, captured numerous astronomical photographs. In these images, the team discovered far more than 9 stars that had suddenly vanished. For instance, a photograph taken on July 19, 1952, showed 3 bright stars that disappeared. Subsequent surveys, including Palomar's second sky survey in the 1990s, and images from other modern telescopes, could no longer detect these objects. Similarly, a photograph taken on July 28, 1952, and subsequent comparison images revealed 5 stars had vanished. Another image from August 6, 1954, showed 6 stars that had also disappeared. Furthermore, the team observed that the light from these objects was invisible before being captured by the telescope. In other words, these objects were initially undetectable, briefly flashed for about half an hour to an hour, and then faded rapidly, never reappearing. This phenomenon was highly unusual. The team's statistical analysis concluded that during the Palomar first sky survey, from November 19, 1949 to April 28, 1957, over 100,000 transient light events occurred. Across these 2,718 days, light flashes were observed on 310 days. Within the overall sample, the number of light events per day ranged from 0 to 4,528. These findings astounded the entire scientific team, as they exceeded their comprehension. Such a large number of events could no longer be explained simply as vanishing stars. If these light points were not stars, then what could they be? Dr. Villarroel proposed an alternative explanation, one that is more unsettling than the collective disappearance of stars. She suggested that the numerous light sources in the photographs might not be located light years away, in the depths of the universe, but rather in close proximity, within Earth's orbit. This hypothesis posits that these objects are technological artifacts orbiting Earth, occasionally reflecting sunlight, and being captured by telescopes. This could explain the over 100,000 transient flashes observed. If Dr. Villarroel's hypothesis is correct, these artifacts may form part of a vast surveillance system monitoring human activity. This perspective is profoundly unsettling, evoking a sense of unease. If you are currently using air conditioning, you might consider raising the temperature slightly. The Soviet Union, on October 4, 1957, successfully launched the world's first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, marking humanity's entry into the space age. However, prior to this milestone, an advanced civilization may have already deployed technological artifacts in Earth's orbit. Dr. Villarroel hypothesizes that these artifacts, orbiting Earth, occasionally reflect sunlight, resulting in their detection by telescopes. This could account for the over 100,000 transient flashes observed. If this hypothesis is accurate, it suggests a sophisticated satellite system designed to monitor human activities. However, when humans developed the capability to launch satellites, this system may have been discreetly dismantled. This is a bold and provocative explanation. Dr. Villarroel acknowledges that even within her team, there are reservations. Due to the conservative nature of the astronomical community, such a hypothesis is considered unorthodox. Yet, the numerous photographs lend credibility to this speculation. To investigate further, Dr. Villarroel continued her research, and soon after, she made additional discoveries. It is well known that in the 1940s and 1950s, the United States experienced a surge in UFO sightings. One of the most notable incidents occurred in Washington, D.C. in 1952. This event, recorded on July 19, 1952 at 11:40 p.m., involved air traffic controllers at Washington National Airport. Controller Edward Nugent and his supervisor, Harry Barnes, detected 7 unidentified objects on radar. No known aircraft were present in the vicinity. Barnes instructed to controllers to verify the radar's functionality. After confirming normal operation, he contacted the control tower, equipped with its own radar system. Controllers Howard Coughlin and Joseph Zecco reported on the call that they also detected and identified signals on their radar. Moments earlier, they observed a bright light hovering in the sky, which then moved away at high speed. Shortly after ending the call, Barnes noticed multiple unidentified objects appearing across the radar screen. Immediately afterward, an alarming event occurred. The unidentified objects collectively flew over the White House and Capitol, as if conducting a deliberate demonstration. At 3 a.m., Andrews Air Force Base dispatched two fighter jets to intercept the objects. Upon their arrival over Washington, the objects on radar suddenly vanished. However, when the jets departed due to low fuel, the objects reappeared on radar. This behavior led Barnes to conclude that the objects were monitoring their radio communications and adjusting their actions accordingly. Ultimately, the objects were last detected on radar at 5:30 a.m. and then disappeared permanently. This well-documented incident was attributed by scientists at the time to atmospheric temperature inversion. This explanation is met with skepticism, and further commentary is unwarranted. The reason for discussing this incident is that Dr. Villarroel discovered the Washington UFO event on July 19, 1952, coincided precisely with a photograph taken by the Palomar Observatory on the same date. This is the image referenced earlier. Is this mere coincidence? It seems unlikely. Further evidence shows that Project Blue Book, conducted in the 1950s and 1960s by the U.S. Air Force to investigate UFO sightings, provided additional insights. The VASCO team found that Project Blue Book's records of multiple UFO sightings correlated strongly with the transient light flashes. Each additional UFO report increased the number of observed flashes that day by an average of 8.5%. Another significant finding indicates that UFO activity is closely associated with nuclear facilities. This correlation is widely acknowledged within the UFO research community. Consequently, the VASCO team investigated whether the transient flash phenomena could be linked to nuclear weapons testing. They compiled a dataset spanning 1949 to 1957, which revealed that on the day before and after nuclear tests, the probability of observing transient flashes increased by 45%. These data suggest that nuclear testing, UFO sightings, and the transient flash phenomena are strongly correlated. If the technological artifact hypothesis is correct, it is plausible that these objects were deployed in Earth's orbit long before human space exploration began. They may have been monitoring humanity for centuries. This hypothesis offers a potential resolution to the Fermi paradox, posed by physicist Enrico Fermi during a 1950 lunch with Edward Teller and others. Fermi famously asked, "Where are they?" He questioned why, given the vastness of the universe and the likelihood of numerous civilizations, no evidence of extraterrestrial life has been found. That advanced civilizations have already reached Earth, choosing not to make direct contact with humanity. Instead, they observe us in a manner akin to humans observing animals in a zoo, conducting remote, non-invasive monitoring to study Earth's civilization. This concept is known as the zoo hypothesis. It is a disconcerting proposition, as it raises questions about the intentions of these potential observers, whether benign or malevolent. If the latter is true, their technological superiority would render humanity defenseless. This sense of vulnerability is profoundly unsettling. Moreover, the zoo hypothesis may explain why certain governments, such as the United States, have restricted public disclosure of UFO-related information. The realization that humanity might be akin to animals in a zoo could cause widespread concern. While I hope this hypothesis is incorrect, I eagerly anticipate Dr. Villarroel's forthcoming groundbreaking report, which may reveal further discoveries. In recent years, Dr. Villarroel has grown increasingly convinced that these mysterious flashes are caused by technological artifacts in Earth's orbit. She argues that if humans newly entered into the space age, can launch probes like Voyager into interstellar space, then advanced civilizations could certainly deploy probes to our planet. With this perspective, Dr. Villarroel initiated a new project in 2023, named the Exopra Project. This global initiative aims to establish an astronomical observation network to continuously monitor the sky for evidence of these phenomena. The project seeks to uncover hidden traces of potential extraterrestrial civilizations. In a previous presentation, I shared a clip of Dr. Villarroel's speech, edited for clarity. Her fearless pursuit of truth challenges conventional astronomical paradigms, earning her the highest respect. My name is Beatriz Villarroel, and I am a deeply curious individual. As an astronomer with a PhD, I estimate that approximately 20% of stars similar to our Sun host an Earth-sized planet within their habitable zone, where liquid water can exist. This suggests that there are roughly 40 billion Earth-sized planets in our Milky Way galaxy alone. These conditions provide compelling reasons to believe our galaxy is teeming with life. While humans cannot yet undertake interstellar travel, we can deploy exploratory spacecraft known as probes. These probes can carry messages, cameras, communication systems, and lasers, enabling them to relay information back to their creators. Voyager 1, a NASA probe launched in 1977, entered interstellar space in 2012. Future probes may be smaller and faster, potentially traveling at a fraction of the speed of light, if humanity can send probes to other star systems. An advanced civilization could certainly send probes to our solar system. Our galaxy may be filled with billions of such probes. Even small artificial objects can be detected by telescopes operated by astronomers or military personnel. This provides a direct method to search for extraterrestrial probes. We simply need to observe transient flashes in the sky. My team, the VASCO team, is dedicated to detecting these flashes from potential alien probes. We utilize both historical images and modern sky surveys with newly designed instrumentation. Our approach does not require billion-dollar missions or telescopes, nor complex, large-scale projects involving thousands of personnel. We also do not rely on the Pentagon releasing classified reports. They may retain their confidential data. All we need is to observe the sky for objects that produce transient flashes.